Hi there, today I'm going to show you how to knit this buttoned flap on the Pick and Knit pattern one button baby boot booties. These are a felted boot. They're knit in the round up to a certain point, and that's the point that we're going to start at. So if we look at this right boot for a minute, I'm just going to unbutton it and show you exactly what we're doing. So we knit to the round up and from the bottom up until this point, and then we're going to be cable casting on some stitches for this flap to continue. So that's what we're going to work on in this tutorial today, is just cable casting on those stitches. So the process is a little bit different for the right boot as it is for the left boot. So here I have my sample booty. So I have been starting every round back at this silver marker, and we've just been knitting in the round up until this point. So we're going to snip the yarn, and now I'm going to, in the pattern it says for the right boot to slip 19 stitches. Now it's going to do exactly the same thing as just counting to where the 19th stitch is, so that's what we're going to do. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19. So 19 stitches would bring me right between this second and third needle. So that's the spot that we're going to be cable casting on for the flap. So to do this, we're going to put our working needle between the 18th and 19th stitches there. So we're not going to go up between the needle like we would to knit, but rather, between the stitch to knit, but between that 18th and 19th stitch. And that's how you do a cable cast on. So we're going to rejoin our yarn here, just like you would knit a stitch, but you're just not in the stitch, you're between two stitches. So that's how you get your cable cast on stitches. Now we're going to cable cast on 8 stitches here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, so for the right boot, we had the wrong side facing us, and we cable cast on those 8 stitches. Now that's going to, when the boot is done, you can kind of picture that that's going to wrap around and create that button, just like this one. So that's what we're doing. This is the flap there that's going to be the button. Now for the right boot, we would snip our yarn again. I'm not going to, because I also want to show you what to do for the left boot. But if you were continuing on with the right boot, you would snip your yarn again, and then you'd want to start with a right side row. So instead of starting at this end, which would have been a wrong side row, we're going to start at this end here, and that's going to be the beginning of your new row. So start with a right side row, and you just knit all the way around down to that last cable cast on stitch. That would be your new row, starting with the right side row. But now I'm going to show you what it would look like if you were working on your left boot. So I'm just going to take off those stitches that we just added, and I'm going to come back. So we've just finished working in the round. We're back here at this starting point. Now we're going to be, for the left boot, slipping 11 stitches. And again, it depends on the size of boot that you're making. I'm making the smallest size in the one button infant boot. So for the left boot, we're going to be slipping 11 stitches. So we're just going to count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So that brings us right between the first and second needle. Now we're going to do the opposite as what we've done on the right boot. The right boot we worked a wrong side cable cast on. For the left boot, we're going to turn our work around and work a right side cable cast on. Now to do this, this was our 11th stitch right here. But because we turned it to the right side, we're actually going to be cable casting on our left needle, which would be the 12th and 13th stitch. So we're going to put the needle between the 12th and 13th stitches there. and then rejoin our yarn just like we did on the other boot, and just cable cast on those 8 stitches the same way that we did it before. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so we've cable cast on our 8 stitches for that boot. So as you can see, it looks more like a left boot. Here, I'll grab my left boot so you can see. So the left boot, that flap is coming to the outside of the boot, just like this one will wrap around to the outside when it's finished. So that's how you do the cable cast on. Now for this one, we're going to be continuing in the row now. Instead of working in the round, it'll be in the row for the rest of the slipper. So we're going to actually, the other one we started at the opposite end, but again, we want to start with a right side row on both boots. So this time we're going to start with that last cable cast on stitch is the beginning of our row, and just working in the row back and forth until the end of the slipper. And that is about it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching.